Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So in this topic we will be discussing about you have plane trigonometry. So when you say plane trigonometry, it deals with the relationship between the sides and you have the angles of a triangle. So meron tayong dalawang types of triangle. So yung first type, yun ang tinatawag nating right triangle. And the second, ang tinatawag nating oblique triangle. So, ang pagkakaiba lang sa kanilang dalawa is that itong right triangle, meron siyang isang angle na 90 degrees. And ang oblique triangle is wala siyang angle na 90 degrees. So, for example, we have here a right triangle in which meron tayong isang side na 90 degrees and meron din tayong oblique in which wala tayong angle na 90 degrees. So, itong mga side na to, you have A, let's say, C. Say C, you have this B, and this is A. You have the angle. Here you have A, B, and C. So, in trigonometry, we're dealing with the relationship between the sides. You have sides, you have three sides, and its angle. So, for the right triangle, we have the relationship between its side. Like, for example, we have the Pythagorean theorem, which states that the square of the longest side here, what we call the hypotenuse, this is the hypotenuse, and we have here the opposite side, and we have here the adjacent side. So we have the three sides of a triangle. Meron tayong tatlo. You have the longest side, yung pinakamahaba, that is the hypotenuse, and you have the opposite. So when you say opposite, it depends on the angle. So nakadepende yan sa angle kung saan natin ilalagay yung opposite. So if your angle is located here, yung opposite angle natin is itong adjacent side. So pwede silang mag-switch depende sa angle. So sa Pythagorean theorem, ang square daw ng hypotenuse is equal yan sa sum ng square ng opposite tsaka adjacent side. You have a squared plus b squared. So first, i-discuss muna natin yung right triangle. Mamaya na yung oblique triangle. So proceed tayo sa right triangle. So ang right triangle, so as I've said before, so triangle siya na merong right angle or 90 degrees. So ang parts niya, you have the hypotenuse, that is the longest side. And if the given angle is here, you can say that this is your opposite B. And the remaining side is what we call the adjacent. So, sa trigonometry, importante na malaman natin yung mga fundamental trigonometric function. So, meron tayong 6. So, you have the sine function, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. So, start tayo sa sine function. So, we have the sine function. So, ang sine function, it is the ratio between you have the opposite all over the hypotenuse. So, it means that your sine of the angle, theta. So, this is the relationship between the sides of a right triangle. You have the sine of your angle theta here is equal to your opposite side B all over the hypotenuse C. So the next trigonometric function, you have the cosine. So yung cosine is equal to you have cosine theta. So equal siya sa, you have the adjacent all over the hypotenuse. So you have A over C. Okay? Then the next is, you have the tangent. So meron tayong tinatawag na tangent function. So that is your tangent. So ang tangent, you have tangent of your angle theta. So equal yan sa, you have the opposite all over the adjacent. So that is B over A. Or simply put, we can say that that is equal to your, you have sine theta all over the cosine theta. So we can say that you have sine theta, that is B over your hypotenuse, and you have the cosine theta, that is A over your hypotenuse. So your hypotenuse here will just cancel out, so you have B over A. So let's proceed to the next three. Yung susunod na tatlo is yung tinatawag natin na reciprocal function. So yung mga reciprocal function is just the reciprocal of this three major trigonometric function. So let's proceed to the reciprocal of tangent. So pag sinabi natin reciprocal of tangent, yun ang tinatawag natin na you have the cotangent. Okay? So yung cotangent, since na reciprocal siya ng tangent, let's say cotangent of the angle, so it means that if your tangent is opposite over adjacent, it means that your cotangent will be your adjacent all over the opposite. Okay? So let's proceed to the reciprocal of your sine theta. So yung reciprocal ng sine theta is what we call the cosecant. So that is your cosecant. So that is cosecant of the angle theta is the reciprocal of your sine theta. So it means that it is the hypotenuse over the opposite, that is C over B. Hypotenuse over opposite. And the last one is what we call the secant. So yung secant, you have secant of theta. So that is the reciprocal of cosine. So if the cosine is equal to your adjacent all over the hypotenuse, yung secant theta naman is, since it is the reciprocal, it is equal to your hypotenuse over adjacent. So it's very important to know this 6 trigonometric function. So we have the sine, we have the cosine here, we have the tangent, we have the cotangent, we have the cosecant, and we have the secant. So this is very important for our problem solving. So in the board examination, there are problems that involves trigonometry. So trigonometry is also used in physics. You have physics, you have fluid mechanics, as well as, of course, it is also used in higher mechanical engineering subjects. So this is the fundamentals of trigonometry. So this is a very important foundation. So let's proceed to the oblique triangle. So this solution is particularly applicable to right triangle. So in terms of oblique triangle, we have some formulas to memorize. So for example, we have an oblique triangle. It means that we have no angle that is equal to 90 degrees. So let's assume that this triangle is oblique. So it means that no angle equal to 90 degrees. We have C, A, B. And we have the opposite angle. So let's say this angle A, this is angle B, capital letter. So this is angle C. So the first concept that we should use is what we call the law of sine. Okay, you have the law of sine or sine law. You have the sine law. So sine law is applicable wherein meron tayong dalawang angle na given at isang opposite side. It means that, for example, if your angle B and C is given and you have one opposite side na given, let's say it's either C or B also, you can find one of the parameter. For example, we have here, you can say that A all over, you have sine A is equal to B all over sine B. So here, we can say that we have two angles and an opposite side. We can get this side that is opposite to A, yung katapat ng A. Pwede natin makuha yon if given tayo ng dalawang side. Means that given ka ng side na opposite sa A, let's say here, given to, and given yung angle B, and given yung opposite na side sa B, angle B, pwede nating makuha yung length ng side A. So, pwede rin na meron kang dalawang side na given, let's say, itong dalawa given, and kahit isang side lang na opposite sa dalawang isang angle lang na opposite sa dalawang side na to, let's say B or A, pwede mo na makuha yung isa pang katapat ng isang side. So, you have A over sine A is equal to B over sine ng opposite. So, you have B all over, say, sine B is equal to, you have C all over sine ng angle C. And then you have A over sine A is equal to C all over sine C. So, this is our sine law. So, proceed na tayo sa cosine law. So, this is a very important relationship. We have cosine law. So, dito, pwedeng given dalawang side, isang angle na opposite. Pwede rin given dalawang angle na isang side na opposite. Sa cosine law naman, pwedeng given ka ng dalawang side and an included angle. Or pwede naman given ka ng tatlong side. So, ang cosine law, say, you have C squared, this is the side, is equal to, you have A squared plus B squared minus twice no A and B. And cosine no opposite sa angle na nanditong sa left side ng equation, let's say, that is C. So, pwede rin you have A squared is equal to, you have B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine ng variable na nandito sa left side. So, that is A. So, pwede mong i-memorize isa lang sa tatlo kasi pwede mo na lang siyang, may pattern naman siya na pwede mong pagpalit-palitin. So, you have C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. So, pwede rin, you have A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared. So, dito, 2 times, you have here B and C. So, pwede rin you have B squared that is equal to, you have A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of your angle B. So, these are the solution for oblique triangle. So, let's proceed to our first sample problem. So, here, if secant A is 5 halves, the quantity 1 minus sine squared a is equivalent to. Pero this is a past board exam problem. So ang given natin, so you have secant squared a, so that is equal to secant squared a then you have the required is 1 minus sine squared a. So let us recall that secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So it means that you have secant a that is equal to, so you have 1 over, you have cosine a. So here, this is sine a. So we need to find the relationship between sine a and cosine a. So going back to our right triangle, so you have here C, let's say this is B, let's say you have here angle A, say A, and you have here, say, so don't be confused because we use here A because our given angle is not theta, no, this is just a variable, so let's use A. So the problem is the angle is denoted by capital letter A. So here we can say that the C squared, you have C squared, so equals to A squared plus you have B squared. And here you have sine theta, I mean sine angle A, that is equal to, you have B over C, hypotenuse. And you have the cosine of angle A, that is equal to, you have A over C. So it means that B is equal to, you have C sine A, then you have A is equal to C cosine A. So let's substitute this expression to our Pythagorean theorem. So let's say C squared that's equal to, you have A here, that is C cosine A, so you have squared plus, so B is equal to C, you have C sine A, so that is squared. So we have C squared is equal to, we have C squared, so you have cosine squared A plus, you have C squared sine squared A. So C squared is common, so we can divide both sides by, you have C squared. So this is 1 is equal to, you have cosine squared A plus sine squared A. So you have this identity. So that is what we call as trigonometric identity. The cosines, the square of the cosine of the angle, the sum of the square of the cosine and sine of an angle is equal to 1. So here we are looking for 1 minus, you have 1 minus, you have sine squared A. So that's equal to, you have cosine squared A. So we transpose sine squared to the other side. So it means that you have here secant. So secant, you have here the reciprocal. So it means that if you square this secant here, you have, if you square this, so we have secant squared A is equal to 1 over, you have cosine squared A. Okay, so it means that you have here cosine squared A is equal to 1 over secant squared A. So we just transpose it to the left side and divide both sides by secant squared A. So we have here the expression cosecant squared A in terms of secant squared A. So in order for us to substitute that here in our expression. So we have 1 minus sine squared a. So that's equal to, you have 1 over secant squared a. So in our problem, meron tayong given, ang secant squared a daw here is 5 halves. So we have 1 minus sine squared a is 1 over, you have 5 halves, or you have 2/5. So the answer here is, we have 2/5. For this next problem, we have a man standing on a 48.5-meter building high has an eyesight height of 1.5 meters. So from the top of the building, took a depression reading from the top of another building and nearest wall, which are 50 degrees and 80 degrees respectively. Find the height of the nearby building in meters. So this problem is an application of trigonometry. So first step is to illustrate the figure. So here, meron daw tayong building na 48.5 meters. So the building is, you have 48.5 meters, and the line of sight of the man is at height of, you have 1.5 meters. So here, the height of the tower is 48.5 meters. Here, the line of sight is 1.5 meters from the top of the building. So it is measured from the top, 1.5 meters. Then, we are required to find the height of the nearby building in meters. So we are given here the angle of depressions. We have the height of the so we are required to find this height. So in the problem, it says that the angle of depression from the top here, the top of the building, and the nearest wall here. Ang nearest wall is yung nasa baba ng isang building here. So we say angle of depression. So the angle is measured below the horizontal. So yung angle of depression from the top of the building is 50. You have 50 degrees. And sa nearest wall is, you have 80 degrees. So 80 degrees yung sa wall. So yan yung mga given natin. So ang hinahanap natin dyan is the height of this building. First, let's say that this distance is, you have, say that is x. Okay, so it means that, so if you can imagine this, you have here, so this height is a total of, you have 48.5 plus 1.5, so this is, you have 50. So that is 50 meters height. So that is 50. So 48.5 plus, you have 1.5. So this height here, so this is, you have 50 minus, you have h. So in this figure, you can form two triangles. So you have here one, so the big triangle here, ito yung malaki, then yung itong maliit. So separate natin yung dalawa. So you have here yung malaki hanggang doon sa baba ng building. So that is 50. Here, that is 50. And yung taas, so that is your x. And this angle is, you have 80 degrees. Yun yung ating first triangle. So yung pangalawang triangle natin is yung maliit, ito. So you have here, the side is, you have 50 minus h. You have here, that is, you have x. And your angle is, here you have 50 degrees. Okay. So using our first triangle, we can say that tangent of 80 degrees. So that is equal to your opposite over, you have the adjacent side. So yung ating opposite side is the opposite ng angle, that is 50. So all over, so you have adjacent, so that is x. So it means that x equals, you have 50 divided by, so you have tangent 80 degrees. And here, you have tangent 50 is equal to, we have opposite, that is 50 minus h, all over, so you have x as your adjacent side. So here you can say that x is equal to, you have 50 minus h, all over, so you have tangent 50 degrees. So here, you have the first equation here, and you have the second equation here. So we can equate the first equation and the second equation for x. So x will be, of course, this is equal. We can say that 50 minus h all over, you have tangent 50 degrees. So that is equal to, you have 50 over tangent 80 degrees. So using this, you can use our calculator. So you have 50 minus h, so let's say h is x, alpha x, all over, you have tangent 50 degrees. So your alpha equals, so you have 50 all over tangent 80 degrees. Let's say you can use the shift solve. So you have shift solve, so you have 39.49 meters. So the height of the building is